Here is some of what we have on the next VA News. VA and Major League Baseball salute veterans at the World Series in Kansas City.
Secretary McDonald continues to encourage medical students to come to VA. And in Atlanta, he speaks to the 71st Tribal Council.
A look at the White River Junction, Vermont VA Medical Center through the lens of a non-VA camera.
And the cherry bomb cars just kept on coming at this year's Cruising the Coast. Hello, I'm Darren Pope with the Veteran Employment Services Office.
And I'm Jeanette Mendy with the Office of Public and Intergovernmental Affairs. This is VA News. Veterans were honored all day in Kansas City, straight through Game 1 of the 2014 World Series there between the hometown Royals and the San Francisco Giants. As part of the multi-sponsored Welcome Back Veterans campaign, Major League Baseball helped pack the Honor Annex at the Kansas City VA Medical Center on October 21st. Major League Baseball Commissioner Bud Selig, VA Secretary McDonald, and Joint Chiefs Vice Chairman Admiral James Winfield Jr. highlighted the event at the VA hospital. Secretary McDonald and Admiral Winfield were introduced at Game 1 with Army Staff Sergeant Pedro Sotelo, who threw the ceremonial first pitch before the game. Here's a report courtesy of Major League Baseball.
We honor different entities before each game, and tonight is Welcome Back Veteran. We're really proud to do this. This started, they said, about 6-7 years ago, and every time I go to one of these, it just brings so much pride that you're able to do this, because after all, these people have made the supreme sacrifice in many cases and need help and need understanding, and so I'm very proud of the fact that we're doing what we're doing. So they're going to throw the first ball out tonight and beyond.
You know, we're talking about America's veterans and America's game. So what could be finer? We're very, very happy about that, and I think it's a real honor for us in uniform, for Major League Baseball, to think enough of us that they would dedicate this first game of the World Series, that everybody's watching in the country, to veterans that have worn the uniform of the country. So we're very happy to be here and just as pleased as we can be with Major League Baseball's support.
To be in this building that Major League Baseball and Bank of America and the community helped us construct for our veterans. I call it the house that baseball built. It's a great facility and our veterans are benefiting from this. So the partnership between Veterans Affairs Department, Major League Baseball is the kind of partnerships that we need to have. Major League Baseball has always been there for our veterans, and I think it's a great way for us to demonstrate to those who have borne the battle, as we say, that we support them and that we support their families.
I've often said to people that some people regard this as, well, you have to do it, you're in this position. I have a different view. It's a privilege. You're lucky that you're in a position where you're able to do really good things.
Major League Baseball is taking this opportunity not only to shine light of what they've been doing for many years, but also to shine the light on the veteran community and their families and support. It is amazing. I am so grateful because this way we can actually give back to those that have continued to serve us and that have served, and perhaps those that never came home. So this is dedicated to them, and this is an honor.
We all understand in the military symbolism. The symbolism of the uniform, the symbolism of those we've lost in the past, the symbolism of cemeteries all across the country. So we get it, and those veterans and people serving in uniform who will be watching tonight, the first pitch of that World Series, thrown by somebody in uniform, their little hearts will beat a little faster. They'll be very proud of that young man out there, and they'll wish him the best.
Major League Baseball and the Robert R. McCormick Foundation started the Welcome Back Veterans Initiative in 2008. VA and DoD are also partners in the initiative dedicated to helping veterans with PTSD and traumatic brain injury. More than 10,000 veterans have benefited from the charitable donations of the organization.
Secretary McDonald continues his visits with students at medical schools, urging them to consider beginning their careers at the Department of Veterans Affairs. On October the 24th, the Secretary took the recruitment campaign to the medical school at Howard University.
I want to be perfectly frank and very open with you today. I'm here for one reason, and that's to hire you. So if you're a medical school student, a nursing student, a doctor, a clinician of any kind, come join us. I took the job when President Obama asked because as a veteran I thought this is an incredibly high calling to be able to take care of the veterans who have put their lives on the line for all of us. You know, today less than 1% of the U.S. population is involved in military activities, yet they protect 100% of us. And so what we're trying to do is create a system to care for these people.
On October 28th, the Secretary met with students at historic Morehouse University in Atlanta.
How many of you have loans outstanding because of your medical school? How many of you would like me to repay your loans? Okay, if your hand is up, come see us.
The day before the visit at Morehouse, the Secretary spoke at the 71st National Congress of American Indians Convention and Marketplace in Atlanta. It was the Secretary's first formal engagement with leaders of Native American tribes.
We share a noble goal, and that noble goal is to help all eligible veterans access VA services and benefits they've earned and that they deserve through their courageous service to our nation.
Freelance filmmaker Frank DePriel sent us a video he shot and produced about Vermont's White River Junction VA Medical Center. DePriel dedicates the video to his father and 7 uncles, Army and Navy veterans who served in the Korean War, World War II, and the Vietnam era.
A one-time Naval Academy seaman, DePriel's video offers a look at the happy patients and employees at the White River Junction Medical Center. He did not totally gloss over VA problems and addresses how he came to grips with them in a blog he wrote for VA's Vantage Point. It's all at the address on the screen, as is the full 42-minute video. Here's a 2.5-minute clip from the film.
But Americans are proud, caring, and respectful people who for centuries have stitched up our wounded and buried our dead. And as long as we have wars, we will need to do this. And we will turn to the Department of Veterans Affairs and be glad there's a VA. The first half of 2014 has not been kind to the organization, and well-deserved investigations will bring about some well-deserved changes and some well-deserved employee terminations. Though some will take the position that when the dust has settled, it will be a shame that the lack of honor of certain subordinates will have cost our country the services of an honorable leader. For if we look past the isolated corruption and bad press, what remains is a system that has been pushed to its limits and is trying to make the most of what resources it is given. Sadly, some facilities fell short and management felt compelled to lie. But most did not, and because they are modern, online, and staffed with competent and courteous employees who love their jobs, thousands of veterans are satisfied patients every day. Yes, the Department of Veterans Affairs has corrective work to do, but we, as a nation, should be proud that the VA lives up to Lincoln's call to action, that it cares for those who have served and borne the battle, and that the VA has become much more than a soldier's home.
Well, I think that, we have to recognize as a society that individuals who serve in the military really make an incredible contribution to all of our lives. The kind of life that we're able to lead here in America really exists because of the sacrifices that members of the military have made. I really believe that.
They broke a record for cars at the always fun and colorful Cruising the Coast event on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. More than 200 veterans who get care at the Biloxi VA Medical Center were there.
Return to sender. Return to sender.
We're here today with veterans from the Biloxi VA Medical Center to celebrate our Cruising the Coast event. Today, it is Salute to Our Veterans.
They love it. It's a walk down memory lane for most of them. They get to enjoy the cars, brings back a lot of memories. they enjoy it.
One came by and he was blind, and we actually took his hand and let him feel the car and feel the hood ornament and and he enjoyed that.
We wanted to come over and support the veterans because someday I'll be one too. And we brought our 31 Ford Model A Coupe Deluxe today, so it's a fun car, and
we're just here to enjoy it.
Just here to enjoy it.
The VA Knowledge Network and Content Distribution Network have scheduled multiple airings of 2 compelling movies in November. Honor Flight, One Last Mission, is about how citizens in Milwaukee, Wisconsin race against the clock to send living World War II veterans on an honor flight, a trip of a lifetime to Washington, D.C. to see their memorial. Veterans Day, 11/11/11, was a tremendous project of videographers, producers, and veterans across the nation to portray the collective experience of being a veteran of the U.S. military. The profiles and stories of veterans from all across the U.S. on 11/11/11 give meaning to service in both peacetime and war.
Deep down, I know somehow I would never see your face. This world would be a different place. Darling, there's no way to know which way.
Check VAKN and CDN air schedules, or ask your satellite coordinator to air it on your facility's closed-circuit system.
Did you know? The majority of VA employees love what they do. They love helping the men and women who serve to keep us free. We have the proof right here. Provided by videographer Adam Poitras at the Miami VA Medical Center.
I work at the VA to serve those who have served our country.
I work at the VA because my father was a veteran, I'm a veteran, my father's father was a veteran.
I work at VA because it's an opportunity for me to give back to those that basically saved my life.
When I come here on a daily basis, I feel that I honor my father's memory by serving the veteran population just as he served for his entire life.
It's such a rewarding experience to work for people who are often underserved and have given their all, and after giving their all, some don't have much more to give.
The veteran should get the best care. There's nothing important, there's nobody more important than the veterans.
The most important role is one of support and one of empathy and being there and being genuinely concerned for that person in a time of need.
We know veterans, and a lot of us are veterans.
Thank you for your service.
And happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day, 2014.
That's all we have for this VA News. I'm Darren Pope. Thanks for tuning in.
And I'm Jeanette Mendy. We'll have Veterans Day coverage in the next VA News, the last for this year. Have a really nice day and rest of your week.